Okay, so we are going to talk about owning your business, what it looks like to treat this business like a business at the level that you are at now. And like I was saying, I constantly get tasked with this because people look and think she's so disciplined. She's so disciplined in her time. She's so disciplined with whatever. And they think, okay, she just needs to take that discipline and give it away. So I'm going to attempt to do that. But I think the first thing that you have to know about discipline in time management, discipline with priorities, discipline with boundaries, the first part of that is ownership. So we're going to say the line that everyone has come to love to hate. You are exactly where you deserve to be in your business. You're exactly there. And listen, it doesn't even really matter how you feel about it. The only emotion that is not acceptable is denial. And while we're talking about denial, let's also talk about being offended. Can we please all make a pact? Everybody raise your hand. Left hand. I don't know my life, but left hand. I promise I will work hard to walk around less offended. I can be unoffendable. Guys, stop feeling like somebody out to get you. Somebody's pinpointing you. They're always after me. Ownership. Ownership. If the shoe fits, not my fault. It's not my fault. I'm not calling someone out. I have a lot of team members here. What if they all walked up around here and said, great, she's talking about owning her business. She's talking about me. She knows that I don't time block. She knows that I don't do that. She's always out to get me. It's always something with her. You have a choice. Stop being so offendable. Stop being so offendable. So some of you are already mad because I said you're exactly where you deserve to be in your business. And some of you are sitting where you hoped to never see again as a gold. And now we're there. And that feels painful. And now Christina says it's all my fault. I didn't say it was all your fault. I just said you're exactly where you deserve to be. Hey, side note, we actually don't deserve any of this. None of it. Anything good that you have in your business has come from somebody way, way bigger than we are. So you don't deserve anything. You shouldn't be farther along. It's not fair that she's got what you want. You're where you deserve to be in your business and you can change it. To me, when I heard that sentence for the first time in my brain, it was empowering. I couldn't really understand why it made so many people upset. Because if I'm exactly where I deserve to be, then that means that I can do exactly what's necessary to move. I'm not a tree. You're not a tree. Your business is not a tree. You're not being washed out to sea. Charles said one time we were on a Jewel School tour of campus, and somebody said, Charles, I just don't know what to do. Like I hit it one time, I have never hit it again. And they're like pouring their heart out to Charles. And he just listens very calmly. And he says, you built it once, build it again. You built it once, build it again. Okay, so you're not a victim in any area when it comes to your business. And I don't use that victim word insensitively. There are real victims of real things. Your business is not out to get you. Neither is your upline. Okay, so we're going to talk about what it looks like to own your business. There's a difference in being a renter and an owner. You've heard some of this stuff before, but if you're renting a house versus owning a house, if something were to happen right now and the roof started to crumble, how many of you would go get a ladder, get some roofing tiles? Like, I have no idea what else goes into building a roof. And put that roof back together. Would anybody go do that? What would we do? We're gonna call that lady and be like, yo, you got a hole in your roof. It is unfortunate. But we would have zero responsibility. We would wait for someone to come to our rescue. No one is coming to your rescue. No one is coming to your rescue. You're going to have to figure out how to patch your own roof. Okay, so Christina, how does this empower you? I don't understand why you're not discouraged. Listen, I told you guys I've not maintained every single rank I've ever been at ever besides Sapphire and Diamond. Every single one. There may come a time where I'm not maintaining Diamond. Is that going to define me? No. Am I working really hard to safeguard that? Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, there might come a time where I don't have abs. Am I working hard to work on that? Not this weekend. Not this weekend. But I mean, but here's what I know. If I achieved it once, I can achieve it again. Right? So it should empower you because everything is figure outable. I told my kids I got a new tattoo and she said, let me guess, does it say everything's figure outable? I'm like, no, but that was a good idea. I mean, I tell my family that all the time. Like, okay, well, I'm not sure why we are spiraling. This isn't everything's figure outable. If you would just keep that as a mantra, like in the whole world, when it all kind of the roof falls in, it's like, all right, well, didn't see that coming. Now we have a roof on the floor, but there is going to be a solution. There's nothing new under the sun. Everything is figure outable. Okay. If you convince yourself of this, your brain will work very hard to find solutions. So somebody said earlier, when I'm trying to coach my team, all they keep saying is, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Here's the only response to that. What if you did? What if you did know? And I just sit there. Well, what do you think it could be? What if you did know? I mean, you have to require to think. You've got to start priming your brain to look for solutions, not obstacles. If you don't believe that everything is figure outable, you're going to walk around chronically offended. That's the only thing worse than IBS is chronic offense. It's annoying. You're going to walk around chronically offended or chronically feeling like you're a victim of your circumstances in your business. Well, if just this would stop happening, then if only my upline would do 3-way calls, if only my upline would host an event for me, if only. But if we're looking for solutions, our brain will look to find it. If we're not, our brain will shut down to protect us. It will shut down. We will all of a sudden lack creativity. We will lack options. We won't know. So, all right. So what does this mean for you guys? Number one, set some boundaries. Set some boundaries. You can set boundaries with your time. You can set boundaries with your behavior, and you can set boundaries with people. At Ruby level, you are a leader of a business. That means that you don't tolerate off-the-cuff remarks about how you spend your time. It means that you don't let people say, she's always on her phone again. Y'all, I took my dad to Michigan a couple weeks ago. Bless. Longest 52 hours of my life. Sorry, Dad. And he said something about, he was insinuating that the sacrifice of having to be on, like, available to my phone was somehow a negative thing. And I just looked at him and said, but Dad, look what this phone is providing you. So, I mean, was I kind about it? Yeah. But what I communicated was, I'm not going to tolerate that. You're going to respect me and what I'm building. And I have felt that way from the beginning. So set some boundaries with your people. That's another offended one. I'm sorry. You teach people how to treat you. You teach them how to treat you. So if you're allowing the snide comments, if you're allowing the passive aggressiveness, you're just as much responsible. Yes. People who need the boundaries the most will buck them the most, but they will respect them the most eventually. If you need a book about boundaries, go read Boundaries. Very creative title by Dr. Cloud. Okay, so how do you own your business? Number one, you prioritize your business with the most important activities first, not the most urgent. The most important is sometimes going to feel the least urgent. It is so much more fun for me to call April on the phone, or call Terry on the phone, or call Jess on the phone, call any of my workers on the phone and help them with their stuff. That is so much more fun for me than sitting down and saying, got to do new contacts today. Got to do my follow-ups today. I need to plan, host, and invite to an event today. You know what feels more urgent? When they have a problem. All of a sudden, I have an hour for IPA, but so-and-so needs me, and that feels urgent. Sometimes the most important things are not the ones that feel the most urgent. Do them first anyways. If you're not planning daily time for income producing activities, which only include talking to new people about Plexus, following up with people about Plexus, and posting on social media. Those are your personal IPA. Can you make money helping coach other people? Yes, we're going to talk about that in a minute. This is personal. And you have to pay yourself first. Otherwise, you're going to end up in the red. You cannot give what you do not have. And here, let me tell you, the danger of this, other than falling into management mode, is you're going to create a leg of your business that is going to be much more solid than your entire business. You've got to pay yourself first. Width is what we're after here. You can't go deep with what you don't have wide. Okay, so every single day, income producing activities, do it first. You know why? Because it's going to be what you let go at the end of the day if you don't. But there have been many times I have had to put my husband to bed and then get back up and finish my IPA. I'm not even kidding. Not even kidding. Because I have non-negotiables. No matter what, I will not go to bed until this activity is done. And if that means I got to take care of other business first, it's fine. It doesn't take that priority away. So every single day, carving out time to talk to those people. Keep a list. Sometimes y'all think you are doing so much more than we're actually doing. I did. Stop laughing, Rachel. It's true. I did those new reach outs. I'm like, really? Who'd you talk to? Well, Rachel, like, remember that Rachel girl? Like, she'll tell me all this about Rachel. And I'm like, okay, who else? Well, I thought so long about Rachel that I thought I spent my whole hour doing new reach outs. And what I did was new reach out. New reach out. But here's the thing, you know, 10% of the people that you reach out to will even respond in any way. And out of those responses, a third of them may be open. So if you're not having enough conversations, sometimes it does come down to numbers. Are there ways to grow that engagement? Yeah, but that's not what I'm teaching you about today. Numbers. If you don't have, and I tell people all the time, how do you know how much IPA to do? Until you have a set number of conversations going. 3 new contacts, 2 follow-ups, whatever. I could never have built my business that way. There are some people that have. But I mean, you're going to have different strokes for different folks, but I'm looking for the amount of conversations. If I can get a good conversation going today, effective. Because what will happen now is I know 8 to 12 follow-ups. I know exactly how to get them converted over time. But if all I'm getting going is 1 conversation a week, it's going to be slow moving. So sometimes it is a numbers thing. Okay. Again, it will prevent management mode. Guys, you got to really fight the urge to go in management mode. If you're having to come in and save the day for your level 1, it's because you're not empowering them. You're equipping them to need you. And the idea is to raise up leaders who could surpass you. So you've got to take the time. I'll never forget. Called Brittany one time, major problem. She already knew the blasted answer. And 49 minutes later, I'm still getting coached on how I'm thinking about the problem. And I'm like, listen, could you please just give me the answer? We wasted an hour. And she's like, we've not wasted an hour. My job is to not tell you how to fix this problem. My job is to develop you. So develop your people. That's a side note. Okay. Owning your business. Leaders are not managers. How do you know the difference? Number 1, leaders focus on long-term vision. Managers focus only on today. What feels the most urgent right now? Christina, how do you not care about hurting someone's feelings? Like they really needed a coaching call and you said you didn't have time today. Because I'm focused on long-term vision. I'm not focused on what feels fragile today. That's what a manager would do. Leaders create positive change. Managers can only keep what they've got going. Managers cannot change the direction of anything. So if you don't start leading the downward spiral that your points are going to continue in that direction. It takes a leader to create positive change. Leaders lead towards someone's potential. Managers judge only by current results. I care much more about someone's potential and their willingness than I do their current result. Okay. It means that if you're owning your business, you're working on it. Think about your team as like, what are they called when they, like if you want to be a locksmith, you go and work for free for someone who's, thank you, an apprentice. Think of your team that way. Everything that you're doing in your business, you should be turning around saying, hey, did you see how I did this? Like, look, this is what I just did in this message. This is getting a great response. Why do you think this one's getting a great response? You're so busy in your business that you are turning right around and saying, here's what I'm doing. Here's how it's working. You're right in front of your team because you're in activity yourself. Some of us want to be the lifeguard and watch our team swim in the pool. We can't figure out why they don't. Some of them know breaststroke, some of them know backstroke. You need to get in the pool and practice what it means to breaststroke so that you can say, oh, no, it's right arm first, then it's the left arm. Like you're gonna have to be the one in activity, analyzing every single thing that you're doing so that you can then find the gaps. If it's working for your team, or if it's working for you and not for your team, it is not working. If you're creating silvers and you're the only one, y'all are not creating silvers. It's not a skill set that they've mastered. So if it's working for you and not for them, your job is then find the gap. Record welcome calls. If you're saying, get your people on the phone, get your people on the phone, and they're saying, like they're avoiding, they're not doing it, I'm assuming it's a lack of a skill set. There's probably some mindset you're going to work through that, but we're talking about what can we do to own our business. Record your welcome call. Say, look, here's an example of one. Here's what I said on it. I'll break down the outline of what I followed. My people have an outline they can print out. They have a audio visual example they can watch. There is, by this point, if they're not getting on a welcome call, then I am perfectly empowered to say, listen, you got every single thing right here that you need to do. Help me understand why you're not. But record your welcome calls. Be intentional to share that with your team. If you've learned something powerful, go tell them about it. Go tell your team what you're learning. A true entrepreneur is a doer, not a dreamer. This is where we must make sure that we are judging ourselves based off of our actions and not off of our intentions. So many times I'll get those weekly accountability sheets and there will be boxes that are blank and they will say, I meant to do that welcome call. Or here's my favorite. We tried to schedule that, but we just couldn't get our calendars aligned. If we'll stop winning and shoulding all over our businesses, we can start growing them. We can't have this, I should have done that. I knew I should have done that. Or when she's willing, when this happens, listen, go make it happen. If so-and-so's not bringing you those welcome calls, go find someone who will. If your team feels quiet, go create a new business builder yourself and then show them how you do that. The best way you can inspire a quiet team is to go build some momentum personally. I remember one time Brittany said, I was in the hospital having a baby for it was an extended process. And Michelle had something going on in her life. She said, I looked around one day and I thought, my team is quiet. Things feel quiet. Things feel slow. What do I do? She could have come and browbeat us, right? You know what she did? She went and found a Jana. She went and created a Fast Start Senior Ruby. You don't think that got our attention? It got our attention. She didn't have to do anything else. It got our attention. Okay, so what if you implemented a process that allowed you to just get better by 1% every day? 1% today, what can I do to be 1% better in the area of IPA? What can I do to get 1% better in intentionally connecting with my team? By the end of 1 year, you would be 38% better at something than you are right now. If you feel like you're terrible at casting vision and you just attempt to get 1% better, by the end of the year, you would be 38 times better than you are right now. Okay, so how do you do that? Number one, systems, processes, and standard operating procedures. Also, side note, y'all limit the learning. Limit the learning. This overconsumption of learning material is robbing you of the time that you say that you don't have to take the action that's going to be necessary to move your business forward. Limit the learning. There does not need to be any outside source. Everything you need, you have. Team call, book club. If you would just take the time to apply those two things, I would be so brave to even say you probably wouldn't need anything extra. If you took Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to analyze and think about what you learned from book club and how it applied and what could you change and who needs this, you don't got to go find something new to do on Saturday and spend an hour finding the material, 30 minutes watching it. Analyze what you've already been gotten. Stop the overconsumption of the learning. Okay. Consistency is going to beat intensity every time. Consistency is going to beat intensity. Now, listen, Brittany will probably be mad if I say this, but if you want to create momentum, quickly couple consistency with intensity and watch what happens. Okay. Decide your consistency scale. Here's where I see so many of you guys beat yourself up. All right. I am going to do 50 new contacts every day. And then Thursday comes along and we didn't do 50 new contacts and we just beat ourselves to a pulp. Anybody? I'm going to work out every single day. And then you don't. And then we've somehow failed. Decide your consistency scale. Listen to this. Consistency does not mean daily in some regards. I consistently work out. Do I work out every day? No. So decide the consistency scale for what it is that you need. There are some things that you need to be doing daily, some things that you need to be doing weekly, some things you need to be doing monthly, some things you need to be doing quarterly. Decide that systems or that consistency scale and figure out what goes where based off of what it takes to grow your business on the 4 pillars. Set your standard operating procedures and execute them. Guys, please don't go home and spend all week trying to organize your notes and create new pretty graphics and go home and print out. Go find the oldest income producing activity sheet that we've got anywhere. Any of it will work. Any of these cute little graphics will work if you'll just use them. You don't need to go make something new. Decide what my consistency scale is going to be and then set the pace and stay consistent. Decide what you're going to do and then do it. So how do you be consistently consistent? Number one, tell yourself that you expect that you actually will do it. Some of us set goals knowing we are not sticking to it. Like we will set it for the sake of setting it. But you got to tell yourself that you expect that you will actually do this. This is why I love a perfect Plexus week. Because if I know, okay, by the end of the week, I need to have connected with these 3 leaders. I need to have engaged in 1 team training. I need to have done this many new contacts, this many follow-ups. I have a very clear idea of what would help me win my week. Then that means a Tuesday that goes off the rails doesn't mean the whole week goes off the rails. I can win my week still. And we have examples of what that looks like also. Okay. All right, so here's the thing. Basically, before I run out of time, owning your business looks like this. Working in your business every single day. In your business. Some of us want to work on our business. We want to work with our people. We want to strategize and plan and make graphics and get calendars ready and host it. Like work in your business, in your personal business every single day. If you're not happy with the rate you've been growing, do more. Limit the learning. Is learning consistently important? Yes. Do you actually think you're learning if you are over consuming? You're not. Cast vision or take part in team trainings. Y'all listen, you don't have the right to expect any additional time with leaders if you are disregarding what is already provided. It would be as ridiculous as a quarterback saying, hey, coach, I need one-on-one with you, but I'm not going to make practice today. Help me understand. Like, we've gone out. It would have been nice for us to go to bed early, too, instead of being on book club. So you prioritize the team trainings if you want to grow. Cast vision for your new business builders in your levels 1. Your job when you have a worker on your level 1 is to create a worker for that worker. That is your responsibility. And then set your intentions on a consistent scale that you are determined to maintain. 4 ways to own your business. Work in your business every day. Take part in team trainings consistently. Cast a vision for new business builders on your level 1s, obviously, and create workers for your workers. And then set your intentions on a consistency scale that you will actually maintain. And that's all.